Good evening, family. I'm an addict named Bob, and I'm truly grateful for this process and recovery. Give me a second to allow the God of my understanding in so Bob don't get out. Once again, I'm an addict named Bob, and I'm truly grateful for this process and recovery. Man, forgive me, family, for taking so long to get back, but it is what it is. I'm here now, and I'm truly grateful. Man, I want to give a special shout out to all the haters. And let me define haters. Because it ain't just got to be the enemy. It could be your friends too, your so-called friends. For once in my life, I'm doing something positive, right? And I'm not being supported by those friends, whoever they may be. You know who you are, family, friends, foe, everything. I've done enough in other people's lives to the point where the fact that I'm not using, I should be getting the support that I'm asking for when I say please subscribe and sign up to the Real Busy 161. But the numbers ain't adding up. And I know I did a whole lot of stuff for a whole lot of people. And it's so sad, But what's crazy is if I was telling everybody I was selling drugs, the numbers would be going off the chart because they'd be like, hold up, he gonna put us on, But that ain't the case. I'm selling hope. I ain't selling no more dope, And I'm grateful, man. I'm truly grateful. Shout out to Frida. That's my girl. She support me. She all the way in Alabama telling everybody about the Real Busy 161. Love. Shout out, Frida. Special shout out to everybody in my group, in the hospital that I was going to, the doctor, the people at the front desk, the counselors. Shout out to all of them because those are the people that support me. Those are they in the numbers, because they seen the transformation. They seen me go from, being lost to where it's that I started wanting something more in life once I put God in my life. And I'm truly grateful to every one of you at that program because you helped me save my life. In fact, you helped me get a life. You helped me want a life. And, it's crazy. Shout out to Bane. I got the message, and pretty much it's so sad that all my so-called friends, and you know who you are. If I ain't talking to you, I'm not talking to you. If it's in the air and you grab it, it's yours. And it's just funny how, all my life, man, I never understood how people hated on me, like the people closest to me, like behind my back, they, ridicule me and talk about me no matter what was going on in my life, whether I was doing good or bad, whether I had $2 million, whether I had a crack stem in my mouth. They talked about me, and I felt it everywhere I went, every step of the way. That's why I said all the time, I've been prepped for this moment all my life. I know too many people. I have affected too many people's lives. God has given me something inside of me that wherever I go, I display it. Because like I said, I have more money than the average person to see in their life. But hell, I smoke more money than the average person to see in their life. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying these numbers ain't adding up. You know, the numbers are just not adding up. They're not making sense. They say men lie, numbers don't. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that to say this. The difference in you so-called friends, if you supposedly, not supporting me and supporting me, is when I'm upstairs signing the check, you being there, as opposed to you being downstairs and I'm walking by you with the check. And that goes for everybody. Everybody. Make no mistake about it. I love you to death. I'm gonna love you to the ground, to my eyes shut, and there ain't no more Bob. I'm gonna love you to death, regardless of what. My life has been crazy, man. I lived a deceptional way of living for all my life to get something for the next person to have fun. When I bought my cars, because this has to be something greater than me, because I'm the type of person, I don't like to be seen. Anybody know me know it. When I buy cars, I let somebody else drive and I sit in the passenger seat. I don't drive because I don't like the attention. So the fact that I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, you should know this is real. And the God I serve said, "Come as you are, Bob," which is swag, which you like in rap. Just don't act like it, but you can listen. And curse. I curse sometimes, but I love God. I love God. My personal relationship with God is what it is. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, that's on you. Because I believe. And I just wanted to just pretty much clear some things up, because the numbers just ain't adding up. And I'm just so confused. Like, I did too much for people, man. And I ain't got to tell you what I did, because I ain't the person that talk about what I did for nobody. You know what I did for you. The people that supporting this, or the people who I don't even, I met them in this journey now, getting on the bus, passing out the Real Busy 161 cards. Wherever I go, I pass them out. Those numbers make sense. You know what I mean? And me pretty much walking the way I walk, because the way I talk is the way I walk my life today. Make no mistake about it. I love my enemies. I love my friends. I love people that don't love me. I love everybody, because the God I serve said, "Love thy brother as you love thyself." And I live it wholeheartedly like that. I treat everybody the same, regardless of what. I don't got no ill will towards nobody. My life is amazing right now. From that junkie on the staircase, eating out the garbage can, picking up cigarette butts, I'm hitting a home run right now. I'm hitting a home run. And it's only by God's grace and His mercy. I humbly say what I'm saying. I'm humble when I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm humble. God has truly changed my life, man. It gave me a life, man, worth living, man. And I want to give it back to my community. I want to go back to that community where I deceive so many people. And I don't care if that's what you doing, that's what you doing, you selling, you doing, whatever it is you doing. I ain't telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you I ain't doing it no more. Because some people just feel they got to do what you do. I ain't knocking nobody. But you got to feed your family. You do what you got to do. I just won't be around it. You know what I'm saying? I won't. I refuse. That life didn't give me no return. Look, I gave everything to that life. Getting high and selling. I gave everything to that mom. And I got nothing to show for it. So this life I live now, I appreciate it. Because I ain't got none of them fake friends, none of them around. And, I'm hanging up on them by the moment, getting rid of them. Some of them, because some of them, they're going to remain in my life regardless of what, because I'm connected to them from the hip. I owe a responsibility to them as being loyal as I am. Yes, I've made some mistakes. I've crossed some people, and I apologize for those things that I've done. And there's no excuse for any of it, But the disease is a mother, And I want to shout out, man, Ronnie. We was out in the wilderness together, and Ronnie saved my life in 1980-something. She helped save my life. Niggas was trying to jump me and hurt me real bad. And her and Boney let me in that cab that day. Thank you. Paula, I love you. My childhood friend. Went to junior high school together. She got me all my girls. And I'm truly grateful for that, man. I just want to give the due where it's due. But God first and foremost. But back to the disease. I suffer from the disease of addiction, right? My wife said to me, she said, baby, why are you not sticking to the recovery part of the process? I said, what do you mean? She said, you're supposed to be talking about the drug. Shoot, I had a problem way before I pick up the drug. And it started with a simple game called Spin the Bottle. I was introduced to guilt. I was introduced to embarrassment that day. That girl rejected that kiss that I wanted so bad. And it carried on into the rest of my life with insecurities, character defects that I had no clue about. But hear this now, back to what my wife said. My wife said, you're not sticking to it, the thing. I said, I am. She said, why? You just talking. I said, here's this one. The disease. What is the definition of disease? The disease is a disorder. The definition of the disease, one of the definitions is a disorder. Who the hell in this world who don't have a disorder? The doctor that worked every single day and don't pay his family no mind, got a wife and 5 kids at home. The family struggle. That's a disorder because he's working too much and not taking care of his family. You understand me? The little old lady that go to the doctor and get the pills for her back, and all of a sudden she take them pills and it make her feel like mighty, mighty hero. And she start walking straight without a cane. She suffered from the disease. You know what I'm saying? And so often we hear the word disease and we equate it to the fact of an addict or someone putting a needle in their arm. I ain't never put a needle on my arm in my life. When the doctor put it in, I turned my head. I'm so daggone scared. But I struggle hard as hell with that heroin and that crack. And let's get back to that. I put that down. 9 years. Working a job, had a family, but I was going to meetings more than I was staying at home. My partner at the time said to me, what changed? You still ain't here. I was suffering from the disease. It's a disorder. I wasn't taking care of my family. So somewhere it was an indiscrepancy in the relationship. We traveled apart on my doing because I wasn't taking care of my business as a man at home. And I don't mean sexually. I'm talking about, doing things with the family. Shit happens, but a lot of times we only look at it's me. It's about us. That's why I say good morning, family, when I say it. Because everyone is my family. Everyone I come in contact with in a day is God's children to me. I don't know what the God you serve. I serve a loving God. And he loved me in spite of my mistakes. Because I'm going to make them every single day. I am not God. You know, so-called people had made a phone call the other day calling somebody because somebody, they kind of stepped on my corn a little bit with a live interview, and I had to call in on there. I'm rushing to call in, but I couldn't get in there. But I called my homegirl phone, said, yeah, listen, put that phone on speaker. Listen, baby boy, watch how you spit that name out your mouth, and I'm saying that to say this. When you ain't there, people talking bad about you. They talking this because, whatever the case may be, in my case, because everybody don't believe in me, why? Because I ain't selling drugs. You know what I mean? In the crack house, everybody believe in me. When I'm getting money, everybody believe in me because I'm a go-getter. I go get it, But now I'm selling hope instead of dope. Don't nobody want to believe. But you ain't got to believe. I did enough for you to be at least punch on and subscribe. It don't cost you a dime to do that. I've given you way more than that. And I know I gave it to you. Forget about what I know. And I'm talking to everybody because the numbers ain't that enough. And people want to pick and choose, you know what I mean? Because one person got money, one person, oh man, listen, man. This is happening with you or without you. And the difference is what I said. Watching the check get signed or me walking by you with it. Because I'm coming back to my community and take care of it. With that being said, I am truly grateful for this process, man, and recovery, man. Recovery ain't no different than a man sitting in an operating room, right? Getting operated on. And once the operation over, he in a recovery process. I'm in my recovery process right now. And we gonna let this thing go with a little, something for a little bit of laughter, because I gotta laugh at it now. But when I was doing it, I was dead serious. I really believe what I believe in the moment. And shout out to my brother Dre, and God bless my father as well. And I remember one time I was in my father's house. I was in Long Island, and he never closed his door on me. As dirty and bummy as I was coming through that door. I come in that door, I'm out for a week, 2 weeks, shoes smelling, and and I put my shoes outside my room. Yeah, I had a room. With all that going on, I had a room, and so did everybody else. And I woke up and the shoes was outside the house. Daddy had went to his store, him and his girlfriend at the time named Jean. Shout out to Jean. Rest in peace, Jean. I love you. And he left. Him and Jean left in the morning. I've been in the house for 3 days off of one of them binges. I get up, doing some searching, looking for one of Daddy's stash spots, because that's what he do. And just some round the house money. And I found it was in a radiator. I found like $10,000, all $100 bills. And I took $300, the crackhead I was. And because I wasn't trying to hurt him, and I wrote a note. Forgive me, Daddy. I wrote a note and put the note in there. And the note said, I know you don't believe in me, but I'm going to show you that you can trust me again. Because I wanted back in the family business. I was on punishment at the time, so he wasn't giving me nothing. So I took the $300 and left the note in the radiator and closed it back up. I would love that, Forgive me, Daddy. I'm not saying this to brag or make no fun because I was a sick man at the time. I truly believed that I was going to put that money back. And you know how the story go. It never got back there. It never got back there. But, yes. Man, like, shout out to all the people looking in, who supporting, and you curious, and you want to know what's going on. I just want to give back to my community, man. I've been all over the world, getting high, not getting high, and I found God, and I just want to do His will and not mine. I'm an addict named Bob, and I'm truly grateful for this process and recovery. Thank you.